Hello and welcome. Glad you could join us for another edition of Channels Beam. I am Victor Matthias. Now, since the United Nations General Assembly on 17 December 1999 endorsed the recommendation by the World Conference of Ministers responsible for youth declared a national day for the youth, there has been a growing recognition that as agents of change, young people's inclusion in the peace and security agenda and in the society as a whole is key to building and sustaining peace. So today on the program, we will be focusing on the role youth can play in deterring and resolving conflicts in the world. But first, let's take a look at the trending topics in the past week. After a 3-month break, the Premier League returned with its drama as the opening weekend saw shock defeats, breathtaking comebacks, debut scoring strikers, and record-making goals. Protesters stormed the Unity Fountain to demand the return to Nigeria or resignation of President Muhammadu Buhari. While demanding for that, another group also marched in support of the president's continued stay in London on medical vacation. The week, however, rounded up with a visit to the president by some of his aides, led by the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed. Well, those were the trends in the past week, but let's join our contributors who join us from various locations via a Google Plus Hangout. Well, let's begin with the definition of who a youth is.
If you look at constitutionally, it's 18 to 35. Even the African Youth Charter specified that the age bracket for young people is 18 to 35. But if you look at the United Nations age bracket, it's actually 16 to 24. But we're working with the African Youth Charter and, of course, the Nigerian Youth Policy. That's Nigerian Youth National Policy, which states that 18 to 35 is actually the youth age bracket in the country.
All right, now that we have a definition of the term, that's youth, let's begin with the role youths have played in sustaining and fostering peace in the country and even the world at large. What can you tell us about that?
Well, young people are drivers of peace, knowing that young people are actually the most populated, the ones who are over 60% of the population. So for peace to reign, we have to drive peace as young people. If you look at the insurgents in the Northeast and other social vices, these drivers and carriers are mostly young people. But for us to have sustained peace and for us to have that collaboration between both the government, the people, and other actors, young people have to be engaged, informed, and actually aware on how they can be national players, not just local or regional players in peace building, but actually national players to ensure that we have sustained peace in the country. The good thing is young people have the energy and technology to provide us with an avenue to be able to interact and engage, remotely. My brother who is joining us is in Malaysia, but he's contributing to national peace building using technology tools and engaging his peers and ensuring that he's able to bridge that gap and foster diplomatic ties between our country and even countries abroad. So, yeah.
The youth have a vital role to play. The youth are the cornerstone the youth are cornerstones to societal rejuvenation, and also the youth have plays an active role in terms of population growth and for a nation like Nigeria that is well endowed with young people, we should be able to know how we can engage our youthful population in doing something positive to see how we can foster peace and for the whole country at large. Because just like the brother speaker has spoken, if you look at the Northeast insurgents, most of the people who are involved in these deadly killings are mostly young peoples, and so the youth really need to come out and begin to play a vital role to see how we can curtail this menace, this insurgency, and also try to see how we can preach peace among ourselves.
So let's even take a look at technology, which is a tool most youths, at least going by Hamza's definition, use. How have young people been able to use this tool to foster peace around the world, Isaac?
There's been a lot of activity on social media. Social media gives the youths a voice and gives them a channel to be able to push to make their opinions and be heard. So there's been a lot of usage of social media to drive that activity. Who previously, before the advent of social media, or before before being able to use that channel to push their voice, they didn't have the opportunity. Now it gives everyone the opportunity. So despite and regardless of the hate speeches, there's still the opportunity for the people like Hamza and other people to be heard online. I know a lot of people who are driving conversations on, different things, from police brutality to even environmental concerns to, government didn't previously exist for a lot of people. So regardless of the hate speeches, because those come up whether online or offline. So regardless of the hate speeches or regardless of the, cyberbullying, there's still that opportunity available. We can't shut the channel down because of hate speeches.
And we can choose to use it positively or negatively. Either ways, this is a tool and it depends on how we use it. But I want to believe that technology is, I usually say it's one of the blessings of our generation, where we can actually use it to promote peace, to promote unity, and most importantly, to share knowledge and information between our peers, where we can strengthen our democracy and public institution. So, but it's a tool, and as you all know, some people out there use it to foster their own selfish reasons. But it's now dwell on us to ensure we can reinvent the wheel, drive the discussion around peace building, and ensure that we're able to mobilize our peers and millions of young people out there with the energy, with the innovation to support peace building and peaceful coexistence.